think we are live. Yes, we are live now. Now, for some reason, if you can see double, it's not because your eyes are going weird or you've had too much to drink last night. It is because somehow I've got double on my StreamYard and I don't know how to get rid of it. So those are the challenges of technology today. So I like to say hello to everybody. Welcome. Hi. Wherever you are in the world, if you're watching this live or if you come in live or if you're watching the replay, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us today. Is it our first one, Anna, for the year?
First one of the year. Karen, hello, everybody.
Hi.
I love this. Obstacle doesn't stop us from being here, be present, and go with it. Life is not perfect. However, we don't let the perfection stop us.
Yes,
we just want to connect with our audience, and we are here to connect and be real. That is life, and I love that.
Thank you, Anna. So welcome, Anna. It's my pleasure to have another meaningful conversation with you. And what I decided about this heading or title is that it's actually I'm going to change it to Entrepreneurs Meaningful Conversations, or Meaningful Conversations for Entrepreneurs, because for one thing, it's a good SEO word. And I've just done a lesson today with a marketing expert saying that SEO words work really well in LinkedIn and places like that, and they still work, People think that SEO has gone out and now all the AI and things are replacing it. But I learnt today that that's not the case, that SEO is still the great foundation. And then you can use ChatGPT and Gemini and all the other things can be searching as well. But Google search, which is our SEO search engine, is also really, search words are also really important. And of course, we're talking with entrepreneurs, aren't we, Anna? Because we're business people, and we're business people who are breaking new ground in many ways, especially with the kind of conversations we have, or mindset issues we talk about, or growth issues, or development issues. So, development topics, growth topics. And so what do you think of that, adding the word entrepreneur into the heading either at the beginning or after conversations?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Since I step out to take the next adventurous step, I call myself entrepreneur, and I really like that word because it's allowed you to keep exploring who you are, keep exploring the next version of you, and you don't attach yourself to a certain type or a fixed title. Entrepreneur means you just keep going with life and allowing yourself to explore opportunity, possibility to grow into a person of value. And then the entrepreneur allow you to add value to a wider community, not just fixed in just the one organization. Yeah, so I love that. We can say we mainly talk to entrepreneur who doesn't mean that if they have a job in a workplace, they can also have an entrepreneur mindset, because they can also apply themselves, that entrepreneur mindset, to exploring different apartments within an organization. Take risk, go places. Do not define yourself as just one role and one role only for the rest of your life. And so I love that that you add entrepreneur to our conversation.
Yeah, and I just Googled the meaning with Google, and the AI overview comes up with this description or meaning. An entrepreneur is a visionary individual who identifies opportunities, takes on financial risks, and invests time and resources to create and launch a new business, because entrepreneur has the word new in it, and invests time and resources to create and launch a new business or venture, often with an innovative product or service to solve product or service to solve a problem and generate profit. They are self-starters, resilient, resourceful, and constantly learning. So if you want to be like that, or you think you are like that, and it also says differing from traditional business owners by building new models rather than just running existing ones. And that's a lot of what we talk about on our Meaningful Conversations, Anna. We cover a lot of these topics and these things that are challenging people or that come up for people who are in business or starting a business or growing a business, or even, as you say, they may have a job in the traditional sense, and yet they may want to do something else as well or later instead of. And so it kind of really is a great segue into our topic this morning, which is being the director of your own movie, because to do that, you have to envision what your movie is, and you will be, by imagining that your life, not just your business, but your entire life is actually a movie running. What would you do to be the director of that, to have that movie? What story would that movie be telling? Anna?
First of all, that is a wonderful topic that we decided to talk about today. And like this year, my word of the year is ownership. It's silly to say that we own our life anyway. However, with that in the frontal of my mind, it will give me the direction to act every day as the owner of my life, owner of my business that I'm building with people I'm building with. So I like to that we use the analogy of a movie so that we can make, when we communicate, it makes more sense. Sometimes we don't see that. We don't see that our life is like a movie. So we run it by ourselves. But the director, they'll make a movie by themselves. Yeah. They have an idea of a movie and they have to have a cast. You have a big team. At the end of the movie, you see the list of people, rolling on the screen. You see how many departments, how many groups, how many people involved in making a movie. And a lot of time we don't think like that. We think, my life, it's just myself. But I like to bring that point to this conversation. When we decide on our movie, we have to see that there's a lot of people involved. Even if we have a small movie, I call it A-level, B-level, or C-level movie, right? First of all, we have to decide on the level of the movie. Is it an A-level blockbuster movie? Or is it B-level or C-level? Or it's just a little movie, a little short 2-minute movie. Yeah, so that is the first thing what do you think about that, What have you decided? Are you creating a A-level movie or B-level movie? And when I say blockbuster, it's just a funny story around that. Talking about blockbuster, I did a little research into blockbuster, and it's really interesting. Like in it was founded in 1985. Yeah, 1985, and by the time it closed in 2010, at peak time they opened so well. They had 9,000 stores around the world. It's massive. At some point, it was dominating the whole world of video movie by renting video movie. And how come it's come to an end? And that is another thing about entrepreneurship. So we have to pivot. We have to change. We have to adapt with life as well. So when we're making the movie, our life movie is not just a shot in a period of time and you end. It doesn't end. So that's an interesting point about, beginning and ongoing or ending of our movie as well. So there are 2 points I would like to talk about. Deciding on the outcome, on the type of movie we want to create. And what is the ending of that movie? What do you think?
Yeah, and of course that's great. And I want to add, I love what you've talked about, Anna, and I want to add that when we envision our life and we think about it as a movie that we're the director of, if we envisage something that we're not absolutely passionate and ecstatic about, that's what we're going to produce. That's what we're going to produce. It's the way the director produces the movie. When we're lukewarm about our life or our movie, and with our dreams and vision, life is lukewarm back to us. So we want to make sure that we set the tone. The movie is not lukewarm. It is very positive, exciting, or whatever, however you rewarding. What else? Movie about your life that you would love to be living. Don't imagine anything that you think you can create, so you bring it down to size and make it something lukewarm. What do you think of that, Anna?
So what have you decided?
What you're asking me what I have decided?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to talk about that at the moment, because I want our listeners to think about what their best life would be like. Like, my movie is going to be me in my life living, and I don't want to use the term that everybody uses, living the life I love in every area of my life that I create results in. So I want to be living an abundant life, and it doesn't only mean money. Abundant and wealthy means I am living the fullest life I can be living in all of those areas: my health, my relationships and loved ones, my business or my businesses, and my time and money freedom. So my movie is about me working through those, towards those results. And when the challenges come up, I overcome them. I look at them as growing and learning. And so I overcome them in my movie. My movie's going to be about that. What I overcome, what I have to overcome, what I've already overcome. Mm-hmm. And so, it's really important that, yes, we do include some challenges, because that's what life gives us, to teach us things. The universe gives us things challenges to help us learn what is important for us to learn. I just want to say hi. We've got a LinkedIn user who's come in and said, hi, Karen and Anna, but it doesn't say who they are. So welcome, and thank you for joining us, LinkedIn user. So, and I mean, that's in general terms, and I don't want to talk about my movie in specific terms, because it'll take too long. But, and also I guess I want to add that in my movie, I change people's lives. Because of what I do, I contribute to other people and change their lives significantly with my businesses, my coaching, and my other businesses that I have.
I love that. I love what you said, Karen. And when we chose the topic for today, we have a series of other topics throughout the year. And we are going to take the conversation through to the whole process as if a movie goes through. And we see that in life, as in the movies take a segment of life and represent the story on the screen. So we can kind of conceptualize and capture what we're going on in real life. And we can see in movie, there's always main character, supportive character, and then there's so many behind the scene character, and then the supportive team behind the scene, and then the investor, and there's so many other involved in making that little segment of real life, a story that take to the screen for us to see. And then at some point, our life that we live through can be told like a story as well. No matter how long we live, we can put it in a book and make it a story. And it can become a story that's been told. Like we see a lot of biography or, the autobiography. So in that ways, I would like to say that I never look at it like that until I step out doing all the personal development. I grow up feeling like there's always something for me, but I didn't know what, I didn't know how. So I kind of struggling through life by myself, thinking I'm doing the right thing, get a good education, get a good job, and my life will be okay. And then I realized that doing that for 2 decades didn't satisfy me. And so what is it? And then now I realize fully that I want to be that director of that movie, that I want people to watch. I want, not just like because I want people to watch my life, but it's significant enough. When it told on the screen, it moved people. It made people laugh and made people cry with it. And it moved us to act, to dream further, to dream bigger. Like everyone, you go to a Disney movie, what does it stir in you? It's like Moana. What does it stir in you? It stir in you that dream, the dream of a girl crossing the ocean, and then the dream of and the fear and the doubt, yeah, and then the belief and the faith that along the way you might not figure out how yet, but there will be someone appearing for you, or the challenge have to happen for you. And in that moment in the movie, we always see that the main character has a moment of withdrawal, facing the inner voice, and then decided to no matter what, I have to keep going, right? So in that sense, I would love to raise the point to everyone that's listening, that at what point that we decided to quit, or at what point we decided that we were born to live this life at A-level movie or B-level movie, or just a sideline, just watching other people lives going, So for me, I have decided, the moment I decided that I don't want to be small, to be nobody anymore, that was when, everything changed, everything shifted. And that was when I made the decision that's just so scary to step out of my very comfort work life to become an entrepreneur. And I feel like if I can do it with the English accent like this, with the look like this, very ordinary, then anyone can do it. And the more you do it, the more the way is shown to you. And the people that fall into your life will show you the way as well. So that is the one point I would love to talk about throughout our series for year 4. We are stepping into year 4 of this meaningful conversation, Karen. How wonderful is that?
That's amazing.
Whether we will make life really amazing.
And that's the thing. You do want to live an extraordinary life, so make your movie extraordinary. I love what you said, Anna. And we will work through this in the next few sessions on how to make that life what we call your movie, because we each have, like I say, we each have our own life. We each have our own movie that we are causing to happen. We are directing it through the quantum physics and the universal and the collaboration that our mind has, our thinking has with the universe. And whether you believe it or not, you will manifest. You can't not manifest, because our thoughts cause a collaboration with the universe for things to happen. So why not decide what it is you would have you think, my life is an extraordinary life that I really, really love. And then learn how to collaborate with the universe and direct your own movie, direct your own results, control your life and your results. So I promised in the promotion work for this that I would give 3 keys or 3 points to help do this. So if Anna, if you've got something else to add before I do that, I would like to do that before we
go ahead, share the 3 tools that you want to help people decide on the type of movie that they want to create for their life, right? Yeah.
So the first thing is to understand the importance of mastering the power of our subconscious mind, or we call it in my profession, our unconscious mind. Because until you learn to master the power of your subconscious or unconscious mind to live an extraordinary life, you will live a lukewarm, mediocre life. So the 3 keys to an extraordinary life are clarity, focus, and action. The first point, clarity, is about having, and we've talked about this last year quite a lot, Anna, just to expand that out, is having a crystal clear vision of what that looks like. So what your movie, that's why we're talking about this movie. You want a crystal clear vision in every detail.
True leader. True leader. Yep. Karen, know the way. You know the way. That is the very first thing. Yeah.
It's the very first thing. And the thing is, when we start to, using your imagination is critical. It's critical. And we all had amazing imagination when we were little children. All of you will know some little child who dreams up what they want to be and has these big, huge dreams. And all the adults go, oh, yeah, that's really cute. And then at some point, we all stop dreaming like that. So you've got to learn to use your imagination to dream up what that extraordinary, wonderful life you love would look like. And then what happens with most of us is we get stopped there because that part of us that wants to hold us back, there's 2 parts of our brain, or our mind. There's a part that wants more, what the universe is pulling on us to do more, have more, be more. And then there's the part that wants to keep us safe, and that's it. And that part will come up and say, the negative comments. And you'll be starting to think things like, well, I don't know how to do that. And you will bring that beautiful dream, that extraordinary life down to that mediocrity stuff you know how to do. That is wrong. So the first thing is to have the vision of the life you would love with absolute detail, without knowing how, without worrying about the know-how. The second thing is focusing on it so that you're the right match. So energetically, everything is a frequency. And if you build that beautiful vision of something that you would love, it's a very high frequency, over 500 hertz. And if you focus on that, what happens is you change your thinking. The more you focus on it, the more you think about it, and the more you raise the vibration that you're sending out, you raise it. And so that is how you become a match. And everyone knows my favorite quote by Einstein: everything is energy, that's all there is. Match the frequency of your desired reality, and it cannot help but be yours. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And today we call this quantum physics. Okay?
Do you know there's blockages? There are always blockages to that vision. I can see that. It happened to almost every human being. You have that vision and the high frequency and of the energy moving, and then there's always blockages happen. It's like you see the vision far away, and then you have the mountain in between. So it blocks your view. And that's happened. And those blockages are self-doubt. They're actually just a thought that I can't do it. Thought I'm not capable, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not enough. So those are the major blockages. And so go on. Sorry, I'm excited about this.
It's great.
I love that you know the way, even you don't know how. But the know-how you can find out.
Yeah. The how shows up.
The moment you know that you're going to Paris, you don't have money yet. You don't know which flight you go, and you don't know, who you go with. But at least you know you go to Paris, and believe that you can go to Paris, and then the way is happening.
Will show up.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you, Anna. That's so right. Until you make the decision, you're on the fence. So the critical thing is you make a decision. You make a decision, I'm doing this. So when you create that beautiful picture of your life or that movie, you go, yes, we have some tests to put it through it to make sure it's right for you and it matches with your values, or agree, you agree with it with regard to your values. And then when you go, yes, this is what I want, you make the decision, I'm having this, because you understand that you can have it. There's not one thing we can dream up, not one thing that this, and it's our humanness, like you said, Anna, it's our humanness that brings up the blockages, okay? They're all in
last month we did that. I went to Whistler from Vancouver, and the bus took us from Vancouver to Whistler was like 2 hours. Do you know that trip people talk about? It never been as foggy as that day for years. They say it hasn't been that foggy for the trip from Vancouver to Whistler, but we could still get there because the bus driver know the route so well. Yeah. And we totally rely on him, trust on him to do that. So many flight was cancelled, delayed, because there's certain thing that, okay, we can delay it. Okay, let the fog fly away. Sometime we have to find a different way to go about to get to the destination. So for us, we took the bus, and the bus driver was so good. He got the bus has certain special light that peers through the fog, thick as thick can be. I couldn't see anything outside of my window. But on the way back, we had a really wonderful, beautiful sunny day where we saw the view is breathtaking. And we say, if we didn't go there, we didn't have this view coming back either. Yeah. So I think I use fog. It's just like our thought and doubt. And in that situation, if it was me driving by myself, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't drive through that fog because it's scary. But I trust the bus driver. He's experienced. He knows the way. He did it before. He did something similar, or maybe at the level of less extreme before. So for him, that level of extreme, it's just a little bit next level of extreme for him. But that could be massive next level of extreme for me. So in that situation, I decided I would never hire a car and drive by myself, but I will put myself in a bus where a really experienced driver took me there. Yeah. So on that day, I was thinking, yes, this is how we deal with life. Don't take the silly risk. Take the calculated risk to get to the destination where we want to be. Yeah. Go on. Sorry, I interrupt you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the bus driver had a vision of where he was going. He knew he had his outcome. And that's the important thing with your vision, is that you have your outcome. You imagine what it will be like. And then, it's not set in concrete. I do this work with people. We do our vision statement, which is, it's an energetic blueprint document of your life. It is a living document, and it can be changed. But it's important to have, like you say, that vision of your outcome, where you're going. If the bus driver had started imagining coming across all sorts of roadblocks and mountains falling down and, hills falling down and the rocks falling down in front of him, possible happenings, then that may well have happened, because the universe doesn't understand what we don't want if we're focusing on those thoughts. The universe gives us what we're focusing on. So it's really important to understand that our thoughts do create our reality. This is the metaphysical world. And I talked about the magic This is the magic of the metaphysical world. And yet, most of us, that's what I said, you can't not manifest. So be careful what you think, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you think about. And when those negative thoughts come in, those thoughts about obstacles, or those questioning thoughts about whether you can do it or not, or whether you're good enough or not, or whether you have enough of something outside of yourself or not, notice them and then just send them away and replace them with, I'm doing this, and go back to your written vision of your movie, or of your vision statement, or of about the life you would love. Go back to it and read it. So those are some really key points. And then the third part to my strategies I said I would give you, or the number 3, it was action. So you've got your vision, and you've got your matching the frequency and your focus. We talked about that. And now it's up to taking action, because if you just sit on the sideline and you're not actually directing the movie, or you're not playing the game, you're not going to achieve anything. And often it's our humanness that stops us from taking action, because we don't know how to do something. So we go, oh, well, I'd really like to start being a podcaster, and I want to do podcasts. Same as when I started doing these live streams on StreamYard. And Edward Sears said to me, do that, you should do this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. This was this was several years ago. And then I did nothing for 3 weeks, because I didn't know I didn't have the technical know-how around how to live stream a podcast like this. And then I went, what am I doing? I'm procrastinating. I said I would do something and I'm not doing it. And this is really important stuff, because it's all very well. Inspiration without action is merely entertainment. That's my master coach, Mary Morrissey's quote. Inspiration without action is merely entertainment. So you can you can imagine, and you can get inspiration, and you can have your movie all played out how you want it, all in front of your eyes, written down, whatever. But if the director of any of the movies you've watched that you love had then done nothing at all, just had it in his or her head, nothing would have happened, would it? There wouldn't have been that movie.
Definitely.
And the movie could have been taken by someone else and been changed, and it would have been a different movie. So taking action, and one thing I can give you, one tip I can give you to help you take action is to, at the night when you go to bed, to have a little piece of a notepad, a little notepad and a pen, and write down, what is the next step that I can take tomorrow? Or even just, what is the next step that I can take to help me towards my dream vision? And the question is not how. Like you said, Anna, the question is not how am I going to do it. The most important questions are who can I talk with who will help me? Or who can I talk with who knows something else that I don't? Who and what are your 2 most powerful questions? And when you ask them and then you go to sleep, your unconscious or your subconscious mind works on it, perhaps in collaboration with the universe, and you come up with answers in the morning. And if you don't have an answer, then don't worry about it. Just go on with your day and ask questions in your head as you go along with your day. And that is the magic of the metaphysical world, and how to manifest and become the director of your life, your movie, writing your book yourself, writing the next chapters of your book. What have you done for us, Anna?
I love the 3 points that you shared, and it's really compatible with what I often say. I often go to the leader who are ahead of me. I want to be a good leader. I go to the leader ahead of me, be submissive to their vision as well, and then see if they have a grander vision and my vision is part of that. Then I can always learn from those people. Sometimes my question cannot be answered by my own knowledge, because if I have the answer, I wouldn't question.
Exactly. And
So
if
my
you never,
answers can be in somebody else's head. It just need
yeah,
to open up to welcome perspective, knowledge, experience, expertise from someone who has done, lived, succeed way ahead of me on the path of creating. We all want same thing. We want some safety. Safety come with your expenditure covered. All you need is cover. Food, house, travel, play, connection, going out, having fun, all of that covered. We will feel safe. And then we all need some uncertainty with it, some sense of excitement. And you cannot go with excitement if you feel so much fear. And there's always a way to overcome the fear with the perspective, the knowledge, or going with someone who is less fearful than us. Simple as that. We need love, we need connection, we need to be able to be ourselves, expressing ourselves exactly the way we are. We believe that we're worthy of any life we deserve to live. All that. We might not have it yet. 5 years ago, I didn't think like that. But thanks to traveling with people who think like that, I'm becoming like that. I've become, they create a beast in me. Because I say, I blame you because you have put those belief in me. And now I can believe that if you could do it, I could do it. And I'll go with you so like every day, every week, then I'll become like this. And so everybody else can become like this, put it in the right environment. As long as they know that that is what they want. They want a greater life. They want a more adventurous and beautiful life. They can have it, And sometimes through the adventure, you create the safety, not the other way around. If you stay in that little corner, then if you step out of that corner, it's full of fear. But if you venture out once, go back to that same environment, it's no longer fearful. So that adventure will allow you to feel more safe in a bigger environment. So we have to grow. So grow is also an innate need, and contribute our life to other people's life is also innate needs. So I see we all need the same. The grand life is pretty similar. It's just different is we think that, I can't do that. It's maybe for somebody else. And it's true, because I have been digging into research for the next talk with SBS Vietnamese. And I'll see the stat. The statistic is more than 90% of the population working in the workplace, and like 30 to 40% of that stay in the one place for their whole life. That is a big number of people around us that has been living that way, believing that way. And so when you step out to be in the 4% of people who willing to take risks and go for something else. So you put yourself in the group of minority. And of course, you will not get the support of the majority. The stats show. Yeah,
that's really interesting, Anna. And we've got to wind up now. So do you have any final closing thoughts for everyone?
Thank you, Karen. The times really fly. I don't know how, but 40 minutes just gone. My final thought for deciding on what kind of movie your life is going to be. Is it like A-level blockbuster? Sorry to say blockbuster. It's just, historical word movie, or B-level, or stay on the side and decide on what, are you a director of that movie?
Thank you,
You are
Anna.
the producer of that movie, yeah.
And that's right. You're so right. The decision first. Imagine, use your imagination. Dream up your 10 out of 10 life. Imagine what it would be like if you were watching that movie yourself, and then make the decision, this is what I want. I'm committed to getting that. And then if you want any help on how to do that, reach out to Anna or me, and we can work with you to help you, or come back and watch our next live broadcast. We'll be doing them every month. So yeah, from me and Anna, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time. At the moment, we're working on being the director of your own movie life.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a beautiful
See you.
day, beautiful week, beautiful month, everyone, and we will see you in a month. Bye.